Hello, Uforians. Daryl, good to have you on here, sir.
All set.
All right, if you want to mute everybody real quick, and then push record, and then let me know. All right, welcome. This is Con McGregor here, covering some Southern California. We've got a dynamic call this evening. We're so excited. We got some of the top influencers of the company here at Uforia. Not just that, but really business influencers that are really supporting and helping people build their businesses efficiently and effectively. We're going to be talking about the power of the product that we have here at Uforia and the nutrition that we have available to be able to get to market, this unique customized designer nutrition based on people's DNA. And we have none other than Miss Laurie and Tom Kort going to be facilitating this call here today. We've got Dr. Jen Myers, one of our geneticists, and I'm going to let Laurie talk about her here shortly. But guys, we're so blessed to be at the forefront of something that's so transformational, that we have the opportunity to be at the beginning of something that has a paradigm shift within the entire nutrition space. So that being said, we're so fortunate and blessed to have Miss Laurie Kort build solid organizations on an international basis. We're so excited to have her really leading the pack here, the pace leaders, the pace the pack, and really just a servant mentality, the ability to share and give and contribute. I've never really met somebody that has a bigger heart than Miss Laurie Kort. So Laurie, are you here on the call with us?
I am. Thank you, Kyle. Thanks for getting us started. Guys, Kyle is amazing. I hit him up kind of last minute and said, hey, could you jump on and get everybody kind of fired up? And what I really love about Kyle is he is such a giver, and I lean on him so much. So I'm proud to be partnered with him, and he is he's just an expert in so many different things. In fact, we were just talking about a different training that we're going to tackle together. So I hope you guys are excited about that. But Tonight, I am proud to be hosting with Miss Dr. Jen Myers. We've done this once before and had a lot of fun. And I knew that when I was asked to do the product overview and go into detail that I needed an expert with me. And I want to apologize really quickly for Tom not being on the call. He woke up this morning not feeling well at all. So I told him that I would go ahead and take care of it. He's on listening in. But for Jen, what I really want to say about her before we really kick this thing off is that she's a busy woman, and I'm really so blessed to be able to have her join us tonight. And I don't want to take any time for me, because she's the woman that knows everything. So we're going to start out really quick. I see a lot of new names on here, and I'm super excited about that, with the Mission Nutrition video. And I know many of you have seen it. However, every time that I watch it, it doesn't matter how many times, there's always another little nugget in there. So we're going to start with that, and then I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Jen Myers, our lead geneticist here at Uforia, and I'm going to toss some questions her way, questions that not only we get from the field that we're not always sure how to answer, but also ask her about some techniques for helping answer questions when we're in the field. So we're going to go ahead and start with this video, guys. Give me 1 second to pull it up, and very soon we will have her with us. So bear with me 1 minute.
The big question is, was your nutritional product made before or after your DNA test results? Uforia Science is the cell phone to the landline. It's Netflix to Blockbuster. Uforia really is an extreme human experience in an extreme scientific environment.
A one-of-a-kind custom-designed nutritional formula based on each person's unique DNA. That's really the groundbreaking technology behind Uforia.
Everyone wants into DNA right now. Of course they do. It's projected to be a $600 billion marketplace. So the problem is, they'll do your DNA test, which is great. But then we've got your DNA here. Try all these prefabbed supplements. One size fits all. We just keep taking everything, hoping we get some results.
Up until now, we were buying a bottle of this and a box of that. It's the same stuff that everyone else is taking. And we had cupboards filled with every supplement you could imagine.
Your DNA is different from my DNA, and my DNA is different from everyone else's. So we shouldn't be taking everyone else's nutritional supplements. We should be taking those that are uniquely made for us.
We all have genetic variants that affect our DNA. That's why my eyes are brown and your eyes are blue. But we also have genetic variants that can affect our overall health and wellness. These genetic variances are called SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms.
single nucleotide
The SNPs that Uforia tests for are what I like to call the heavy hitters. These are the ones that can be compensated for with proper nutrition and can make the biggest difference in your overall health and wellness.
I guess when I think about DNA in my body, I always think about things that are obvious, like physical features or things that you can always see, they're right in front of you.
But there's all these little hidden areas of your health that you don't really think about, and they're affected by your DNA.
Basically, you take a simple non-invasive DNA test, you stick it in a prepaid envelope where it goes off to our medical grade labs, highest quality, highest standards of privacy. All right, time for Mission Nutrition. Let's go on this journey.
Your DNA is processed in a CAP-accredited, CLIA-certified, and HIPAA-compliant facility. Your data is secured, protected, and most importantly, accurate.
Your DNA results are going to reveal what SNPs you have that are affecting your overall health and nutrition.
Within a short matter of time, you get a secure link with your DNA test results, 35 pages talking about your genetic SNPs.
The Uforia Wellness DNA report is easy to read, especially because it has all of your scientific DNA information just right in front of you.
Green means you didn't inherit from either parent. Yellow means you got it from one parent. And then red means you got it from both parents.
Understanding your DNA helps anchor that conversation about your wellness and removes a lot of the guesswork about your health.
And it confirms a lot of suspicions, like things that were going on with our bodies that actually make sense now.
It's not just enough to understand your DNA. There are things you should do about it. And that's where Uforia takes things to the next level.
The technology behind Uforia Science, the software, was over 24 years in development. It's proprietary. Nobody else has it, and it facilitates what we call the algorithm of you.
So here's the real issue. Suppose we didn't know we were taking enough of a particular nutritional supplement. In fact, we may be taking less than what we really require because we weren't overcoming our genetic weaknesses.
Or we think, I could take more of a particular vitamin or supplement, and I should be okay. But we could literally take too much and be dealing with toxicity.
For years, we understood what nutrition and nutritional requirements were needed for humans. But it wasn't until recently, with the advent of genomic testing, that we could pinpoint and in a precise way determine genetic weaknesses and then supplement with the proper nutrition. And now, not only do we know what we need or don't need, Uforia Science translates that unique information into everyone's own unique nutritional formula.
It'll drop, based on DNA results, nearly 100 plant-based, peer-reviewed studied ingredients into one formula that we call Utrition.
We were very careful in choosing the ingredients for Utrition. They're all based on multiple peer-reviewed published studies.
There's no two test results alike, no two formulas alike. It's made specifically for you, dictated by your DNA. This is the only software of its kind on the planet, 24 years in development, and the only machine of its kind to prepare your unique Utrition. Utrition is a straight line of nutrition for you because it's made for you. It has your name on it.
Uforia creates your own personalized nutritional formula to the microgram, a clinical dosage of exactly what you need.
Currently, based on the SNPs we test for in Uforia Phase 1, we can create nearly 400 million unique formulas.
And you don't have to wait for your Utrition to arrive to begin to experience some of these nutritional benefits.
While your DNA is pairing to your very own Utrition, people engage in the product Pretrition, designed to prepare your body for your very own designer Utrition.
Every U-Start kit comes with a 30-day supply of what we call the Pretrition formula. Pretrition is a very powerful combination of ingredients, including astaxanthin and AC11 for DNA repair. Pretrition is actually the foundational formula for everyone's finalized Utrition.
I've been involved with companies where they'll make a product and they'll find a headline ingredient, they'll just sprinkle a tiny bit in there and make it the headline for the marketing. Here, so much time and money, millions and millions of dollars have been put into this technology. So there's no cutting corners. When your product is made, your actives are clinical doses based on those peer-reviewed studies. They're not just sprinklings of powder.
To take your DNA, process it through software to determine what you need, then input that into a machine that creates your formula is revolutionary.
So we have the one and only Nutritionator. Prints your label, makes your product, ships it to your doorstep. Your name on it.
The science of nutritional medicine, which is what we call nutrigenomics, has finally entered the 21st century.
No other company has this technology, and no other company can do what Uforia can do for your health and nutrition.
I think our children are going to make fun of us someday and say, wait a minute, you guys all used to take the same supplements for everybody? Peace is priceless on today's planet, and knowing your DNA dictated your very own formula, it allows us to sleep at night, literally. Unlike what we've seen in the blind nutritional space, where it ends up in hype and desperation and over-promising, trying their hardest to distinguish themselves from their market twins.
DNA is everywhere now.
It's not just about family history, but it's about my personal health today.
So there you have it, Uforia Science, arguably the most significant wellness company in history. So welcome to Uforia, where being you never felt better.
I love that video so much. I actually, there's a few things that I jotted down when we were watching that I don't know the answer to, and I'm going to actually ask Jen. But what I want to do is introduce you guys to Dr. Jen. I had the opportunity to meet her back at the Rumble, and she's just such a wealth of knowledge. But on top of that, like, she's just. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on one sec. I don't know what's going on. Oh my, bear with me.
It's 11 a.m., Cindy. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Sorry about that, you guys. So anyway, so she's not only such a wealth of knowledge, but she's also very approachable, and she wants to help. She wants people to understand this, and I really loved that about her. So a little bit of background on her: she is a genetic and a nutrigenetic specialist, and she's been following that passion for a long time. So probably 10 years, I think is what she told me. Prior to that, she was in obstetrics, gynecology, endocrinology, dermatology. She left those practices to actually concentrate on this. She really wanted to help people be able to be well, right, from a genetic standpoint. And when I think about genetics, you know, I think a lot of people are like this because it is really, you know, the whole DNA movement is a little mainstream, but people actually applying it to themselves, I think that's still a little ways out. I still think, when I think DNA, I still think crime scene. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to like really put it into perspective that we have a way to use this technology in everyday life. And so she's just got so much experience. She understands the biochemical process. And prior to Uforia, which was never available. This science is not available outside of Uforia to the public. I mean, this is the company bringing this to the marketplace, and it's really cool. But she is board certified. I love this list. Okay, here we go. Biomedicine, functional medicine, oriental medicine, acupuncture, genomics, nutrigenomics, clinical nutrition, and advanced DNA analysis and interpretation. Okay, so tell me that we're not glad she's our friend, right? so yeah, exactly, Dane. Like, whoa. So what I really want to do is bring her here, and we're going to start out with a couple just kind of basic, broad questions. We're not going to go too much into detail. You guys all know that when we're talking about this product, it is very, very important to stay broad. Okay, we can't make claims. That's like the number one thing. And so we always want to be very careful about how we answer some questions. And I'm actually going to be having Jen share a few ways, hopefully, that we can answer questions that we hear all the time. So Jen, are you with us? Here, let me see if I can get you one second.
There we go. It wouldn't let me unmute myself. I'm sorry. Hi, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, so good. It's so great to see you.
Oh, you as well. Thanks, Laurie. I appreciate you having me come on tonight.
I am so grateful that you're here. So thank you for being with us. I don't want this call to go too long, so if you don't mind, we're just going to kind of jump right into it and just have you answer some questions. Yeah, so from your perspective, I really would like just a really quick snippet of your overview of what Uforia means to the everyday person.
Gosh. Okay. So you know me, I like to explain a lot because I love this so much. So I'll keep everything kind of short as well. So what this means to me is an extension of me. In other words, an extension of my work, an extension of what I've been so passionate and focused on for, like you said, the past 10 years. This is something that I've sat there and dissected by hand, trying to understand these genetic variants and these nutritional pathways and how they affect us on a daily basis. So now we get to see this company come to light. And I remember when it was brought to my attention, I was mind blown because I'm thinking, how in the world are we're going to be able to do this now on a mass scale? Are you kidding me? I'm just one little person. I can only affect so many. But this is being able to look at these extremely important nutritional pathways in our body, how we absorb these nutrients, put them into the cells, and use them on a daily basis for every single thing that we do, literally every single thing that we do. Things like B9 and B12 we take for granted, but we don't understand that if these things don't get into the cells at the right dosage, in the right form for the right person, we can't function the way that we really want to function at that level. How many times do I hear, oh, I'm tired, I can't sleep, I can't keep up anymore, my mood is down, I'm depressed, I'm anxious. I mean, constantly, every day, I can't lose weight. These are constant complaints that I hear on a daily basis. And the reason I left Western medicine is because I got to a point where I felt like I couldn't help people the way that I wanted to, at the level that I wanted to. People would get a little better, of course, and then they come back and something else, or we need to give them something for a side effect. And I remember coming home thinking, I'm going to fess up. I remember coming home crying one day thinking, what in the world am I doing? Why am I here? This is, everybody, we need to be able, there's something missing. There's a piece. This is it. This genetic nutritional pathway is our missing piece. This, of course, might be my opinion, but I really think that this is true. And now we're starting to get a lot of people and practitioners that are starting to see the light in this. But Uforia brings this to the light for so many people. People like yourself and all these amazing people that I recognize face-wise and everything on here that I see quite often. I know, hi. And I love seeing all your faces. You're wonderful. Get to be this extension of me to go out there and say, hey, guys, you can take all these supplements and all these medications and all these different things, right? And on a daily basis, and you can hope that they're going to work for you. And you might start to feel some symptoms of feeling better. And you might say, I don't know if it's helping me or not. But you take it because you want hope. Well, guess what, guys? This is better than hope. This is real. This is extremely real. This is your DNA. It doesn't get any more precise than that. And here we are just looking at, we're not even disease-based here. We're looking at those important nutritional pathways that, like I said, affect everything we do on a daily basis and how our cells function and turn over and become more vibrant and more fresh and more young, so we can go about our day. We can have the energy that we need. We can sleep well. We can feel well. We can kind of bring ourselves out of that genetic predisposition spiral downward that we all see. Oh my gosh, my mom has this, my dad has that, my brother had this, I'm doomed. No, we've now realized that's not the case. So Uforia gets just to bring these things to light, to say, yes, we recognize that we're flawed. We're all perfectly flawed, and that's okay. But what are we going to do about it? Well, here's what we're going to do about it. So that's the brilliant part of this company, and why I absolutely couldn't say no when they asked me to come on board. It was an absolute yes for me.
So amazing. And one of the things that you said sort of leads into the next question. So in this science and in this technology, we've only scratched the surface, right? I mean, it's really just in its infancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And Uforia bringing it to the marketplace is obviously such an amazing opportunity too, you know, and we're here for products, so we're not going to get into that too much. One of the things in the video that they say, and that I think sounds great and most people know is great, but they don't know why, is what does HIPAA, CLIA, and CAP certified mean?
Oh, that's the good thing, right? So everybody wants to, you know, and I've posted about it and talked about it before. There's that fear, and there truly is amongst people, that your DNA is your most private piece of information that you have. And for you to give that away to somebody to say, here, cheek swab, take my DNA, and who knows what they're going to do with it. Well, with us, this is the brilliant part. Being CLIA, CAP, and HIPAA certified is protecting your information. So this company has actually built this software on their own. We're not using a third-party software here. This is built within Uforia and within Link Biosciences and Kort, of course. And this is our software that we can now take your information, and we house this in our software, and we don't sell it to third parties. We don't provide that information. We need to protect you because, like I said, your DNA is your most private, most personal piece of information that you have. So being CAP, CLIA certified and HIPAA certified is protection for you. It also means that the FDA has come in and said, okay, you guys are doing a good thing. You're not just taking some DNA and putting some ingredients together and poof, here you go. And no, they've actually realized that what we're doing, we have research. We have, in fact, I just got done this week doing hours and hours and hours of new research, finding out what's new out there for us as this company. How amazing is that? So we're not stopping. That's the cool part. But we're making sure that it's legit. We want to make sure that everybody is getting the innovative, the most newest, greatest, latest science that's out there and available to us. And then we're protecting your information, your rights to your information within our software, and not selling it off to third parties or to pharmaceutical companies to do whatever they want with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we all know that did happen out there in the marketplace. And so people are even a little bit more cautious. So do you think, so actually I want to take something that you said there. When you register your kit with the UStart code, from that point on until labeling, can you confirm that there are no human identifiers anywhere in the process? It's just an added layer of protection. So when you register your code, you're then known as a barcode, right? All the way through the process of the labeling. Mm-hmm.
You are. We don't know how tall you are. We don't know your eye color. We don't know any of that stuff because we're not looking for those kind of things. That's not what we're here to do. Is we're here to look at, like I said, those nutritional pathways. But yeah, you are literally a barcode. Your name is on that barcode, but you are a barcode in our system, in our software. And it is you, and your information is always there. Yes. So we discard your sample, of course, but we can keep your information within our software. Let's say we innovate and bring in new SNPs, which we've done already in the past. We don't have to have you go out and re-swab, which is kind of nice. But yeah, you're right. It has been done out there in the market already. And I know I posted about it, and it's pretty scary that some of the things that they're going to could be doing with our DNA. And that's one thing that we will not be doing here with Uforia.
That's awesome. And it shows that even in our consent form, right? It's this long.
Correct.
So it's just a quick, and it's not those pages that some of the other companies have. So that's very interesting. And then the other thing that I wanted to ask you is in the video, they actually say the words Uforia phase 1. And so
you caught that.
That implies phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. So can you speak at all about what might be coming, in terms of products or in terms of SNPs or in, any new genes that we'll be testing for?
So do I want to share everything? Of course. Can I? Probably not. So phase 1 obviously it was the key word. And when Alex, I've watched that video 100 times. And when Alex said it, actually it was probably 2 or 3 times ago that I went, aha, let's see how many people are going to catch on to that. So you did, nicely done. Correct. There will always be new SNPs and new variants and new panels, is this already there? It is. it's already there. Are we already looking into our software being able to interpret and understand that? We are. It already is happening. So we want to make sure that we are able to address all those important variations and SNPs that could affect somebody's overall health and wellness and their healthy aging and comprehensive panel, I should say. We're coming out with practitioner line, of course, which is soon to be launched here. We're hoping, I don't know what. It takes time. Like I said, this week I spent time doing all the research. I want to make sure it's all updated and innovated, to the newest standards, of course, and newest protocols and newest research that's available to us. But are we going to start to see some new variants come out? Are we going to start to see some new ingredients within your formula? Absolutely we are. Absolutely we are.
So exciting. That's so exciting. So quickly, what does peer-reviewed studies mean and what does clinical dosage mean?
Oh, good questions. So peer-reviewed is we want to make sure that we've looked at things that's been studied, of course, intensely. We don't just pull up something that came back in some magazine that we looked at and say, oh, okay, well, we can use this ingredient per this particular SNP. No, it needs to be something that's been published, that's been reviewed by the peers within the field, of course, and we've all looked at it and we've all assessed it as well. So it's not just something we found in a magazine article that thought looked good. This has been, some of them are a little bit older, and I like the older stuff too because we're growing and learning on that, but sometimes we grow so much we forget to go back to the basics. So if you see some older research on there, that's because we haven't proved that wrong yet, and we can't find any information that we like better than that yet because it doesn't exist yet. So just to show you how much this innovates and changes, and I'm sorry I'm going to get off topic and I'll answer your second part of your question. There's a particular SNP. It's called the DAO SNP. And back in the day, we thought that was a histamine SNP, right? We don't test for this here in Uforia. I'm just using it as an example. We thought this was a histamine SNP that had to do with how our bodies break down external histamines so we don't create this mast cell or this histamine response in our body and have problems with sinusitis and hives and certain things like that when we're exposed to different things. Well, after looking at these biochemical pathways and breaking this down a little further, years and years later, we realized it's a schizophrenia SNP. It's not actually the histamine SNP when we found the histamine SNP. So there's always innovation and change that's happening within this. So we do want to make sure that everything that we come across is looked at by multiple people, that it's been reviewed by multiple people, and it's a legit and a very thorough study that pertains to exactly what we're trying to do here. And then the second part of your question, what is clinical dosage? So clinical dosage is looking at, let's take AC11 for instance, right? So this is my favorite example. AC11, we know has been known to repair DNA in the sense that it lengthens telomeres. Telomeres, I always tell people, it's like the plastic tips on the end of your shoelace. They keep your shoelace from fraying, right? So if these become shorter and shorter, our shoelaces start to fray and they become damaged, or and that's kind of what it is with our DNA. The telomeres become shorter and shorter, our DNA becomes damaged and harder to repair at that time, right? So AC11 has multiple 20 plus years of clinical data on their product. It's incredible, right? So within their clinical studies, they're using 350 milligrams. Guess what's in your product? 350 milligrams. We're not sprinkling these little things in saying, oh, we put a touch of that in there. We put it in there. We swear we did. No, we have to use the actual, we don't have to, we choose to use the actual clinical dosages of what is in these peer-reviewed studies in your product. So you're getting the full amount that your body needs and requires.
That makes a ton of sense and does clear that up. I wasn't exactly sure ever really what that meant. So that's cool. So, so tell me this, in terms of the quality of the ingredients that Uforia is using, can you speak to that at all?
I can, because I'm the lucky one that gets to interview all these people, right? So being able to interview all these vendors and have conversations with them and ask to see their toxicity reports and all their clinical trials and research that they've done in-house helps us kind of decide what products we want to use within the Uforia, the nutrition. So they go through kind of a rigorous, I'm not nice about it. And we want to make sure we're getting, I've formulated for a few companies and I know what to look for and what not to. But we want to make sure that not only is it going to be a clean product that's going to do what it's intended to do. But this company also has some research behind them to back it up, because that's important. They say, oh, well, this product is used for, arthritis, and we just know it works. And I've had a company say, oh, it just works. Well, how do you know it works? Do you have any clinical data or research? Well, no, we haven't done any. But, sorry, we don't want to use you on our product. So everybody goes through a interview process, if you will, and then we sit down and we decide who we want to use and why, and we want to make sure we have the clinical data and research behind it. And we sit there and dig through it and read through all the research to make sure that what we say we're putting in there within this specific amount is actually going to do what's intended to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so one of the questions that the field gets all the time is, well, it's more of a statement. We have people that say, oh, I just eat well. I eat organic. I do this. I do that, right? It's all, I don't need to supplement. I'm doing the best I can. I go to Whole Foods kind of thing. So in response to that, first of all, the first part of the question would be, there's no possible way that you could ingest in food what you would need to on a daily basis to replicate what Uforia is. So I'm assuming that's true. Also, how would you recommend that we as representatives respond to that without sounding like we're trying to convince, just a nice,
of course not.
Sweet answer? Yeah.
Yeah, of course not. And I get that a lot from patients who come in, and they're usually the ones who are the least well. Quick example, I have a woman who comes in and she is a vegan, raw vegan, plant-based, nothing against it, to each his own. I always tell people that. But when it comes to their health and I look at them and think, okay, something's up with her, and she comes in, I am so tired, I'm this, I'm that, and the other, deep dark circles under her eyes. And she's like, I swear, but I eat all these great nutrients and I'm getting all these great nutrients, and I run her blood panel and she's deficient in everything. Here I am dosing her with high dose vitamin D injections and B12 because she's so low in these things, but yet she's eating all these fruits and vegetables and plant-based and whole food-based products where she thinks she's actually getting what she needs, and she's 100% not. It happens all the time, and it's tough to be 100% of the time anyway. We can't do it, and we're not expected to do it. We are human. We have human desires and needs, and if we want a piece of chocolate cake, gosh darn it, go out and have your chocolate cake. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is we can't control the soil unless you have a full garden where you're doing your own gardening, you're adding in vitamins, minerals, nutrients to your soil, and you're doing all this. You've got your own cattle where you're feeding them the way that they're supposed to. Unless you've got your own setup where you're doing everything right, you're filtering your water, you're adding your minerals back into your water, you're doing all the right things, which, could you imagine? That would be a lot of work. And there's people who try their best to do that, and I applaud them. It's almost impossible to be able to get the right nutrients into your soil that your body needs. And not only that, but in the correct form. You take folic acid. There's a lot of foods that are really high in folic acid. Folic acid does not penetrate the cell. And most of the people that we've seen, I literally have not seen a single patient who doesn't have an issue converting folic acid to folate ever. There's 7 biochemical processes that have to happen for that conversion to take place. Somebody has a hiccup somewhere within those 7 processes. So as well as we try to eat all the products that we can, sometimes the form is not correct and we don't get it into the cell so that our body can use what it needs to use for fuel. It's tough sometimes without making it sound like you're selling it, but with most patients, I just say, well, are you sure you're getting the right nutrients into your cells? Are you sure? And half the time they're like, well, no. So I have blood tests to back it up for me to say, actually, you're not. And I'll say, well, how do you feel? Do you feel good? Do you sleep well at night? Do you have the energy that you need to get through your day? Do you not need a nap? Do you feel like that you are working at 110% at all times? Well, no. Is that even possible? Absolutely, it's possible. If you give the right nutrients that the body's asking for and needs in the form that actually drives it into the cell to be used properly, it's like your limitless pill is what I say to them. You're almost like you're limitless because your body's getting everything it needs. It's impossible to do it with just food. I wish I could say that was possible, but even if you're 100% of the time, you cannot get the amount of nutrients your body's asking for or in the right amount. that your body's asking for. It's literally impossible.
Right. And so if I heard you right, then the best way to respond to somebody who says that is obviously not a, kick in the teeth or anything, but just a very simple, just get them talking. Just ask them some more questions. Well, how is it making you feel? Right. Yeah. And just kind of let them come to their own conclusion that maybe they should take a peek. So, okay. So that's really helpful. Okay. So, how do you well, first of all, before we do this, I have to ask, is folic acid the nutrient or supplement that pregnant women have been prescribed for years and years and years, and it was only recently that they found out that there's two types, and most people, maybe the one they weren't prescribing or something? Can you tell me a little bit about that? I know that that's a really interesting thing.
It is. There's actually more than two types. So like I said, there's these 7 biochemical processes that have to happen to convert it from folic acid. There's a folic acid receptor, a folate receptor. There's 2 or 3 steps that convert it to folinic acid, and then it can be converted into folate. And then it goes to 5-methyl-tetrahydrofolate, which can be used get it to penetrate the cells, be used by the body. So imagine like all these processes, which sounds overwhelming. It's super cool, of course. But if these women are taking folic acid, and they have, which like I said, I haven't seen a single patient yet that doesn't have a variation where they don't absorb folic acid well. Is it going to be helpful? Sure, it can be helpful. It's not like if you're taking this, you're harming your baby. And I think that's a lot of the things that people now are coming out and saying. And I'm like, no. Is it better for you to take folate? Absolutely. Is that going to penetrate the cell and cause a lot of not, let me say, how do I word that? Help with a lot of genetic predispositions that could lead us to certain things like miscarriages and stuff. Absolutely. So it's not that it's bad to take it. It's just the body doesn't know what to do with it. So it stores it and it can become toxic, or you pee it out in its expensive urine. So either way, but we want to be able to make sure, and that's another thing I found in obstetrics and gynecology is take folic acid, but yet when we had all these miscarriages, guess what gene we were looking at to see why they were having all these miscarriages? The MTHFR, which is the gene that shows us that they cannot take folic acid. So that was my first click, actually. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. Why are we looking at this MTHFR gene for these recurrent miscarriages, but we're giving them folic acid, which if you look at a biochemical pathway, it's science. You can figure that out on your own. And that actually was what brought me into this world. That was my first clue that something was wrong in what we were doing. So yes, we should not be taking folic acid. Pregnant women, anybody actually, should necessarily be taking folic acid. We should be taking folate. And once we know where your variants are and whether you're yellow or red, we can decipher exactly how much of that we should be taking too.
I love how excited you get. And, when you speak about it, I get excited. I'm like, well, now I want to know more. So it's really cool that there is so much more, so that's awesome. So let's take it really quickly to kind of what you see with Uforia a little longer term in terms of the company. And everybody on this call, at least I assume so, is already in Uforia. So from a nutritionist standpoint, and we know that this company is poised to do some incredible things in the health and wellness space, in the supplement space. When I go I'm very intentional now every time I go in, especially into a box store, and I look down the vitamin aisles, and people are lost. They really, really are. They will stand there for 10 or 15 minutes and they'll look at this jar and look at this jar. And I don't think when they put it in their basket, they're any clearer. I really don't. And so how do you see this affecting the supplement industry as a whole? And then how do you feel Uforia is positioned to really bring awareness? Because it's not mainstream yet. We know that, right? We know it's coming. No. It'll be a market shift, and people will start to understand that makes no sense any longer, but it'll take a little time. So how do you see that kind of playing out here at Uforia?
Well, like you said, Laurie, it's going to take some time. People are still, they want to get better. They know they don't feel well. They know that we are the sickest, the fattest, the most unhealthy that we've ever been, but they're also starting to come around to say, something's got to change. Something's not right, and they're calling out their docs. And I love to see that. And the docs are saying, oh, just take take some CoQ10. Well, then they go to the store and they look, and there's CoQ10, ubiquinone, and ubiquinol. Well, which one do I take? And there's 60 milligrams, 120 milligrams, 340. I mean, they don't know what to take and how much and when and why, and their doctors can't instruct them on that because, 4 hours or less in clinical nutrition courses within med school. How would you know that? So they're starting to realize that there's a paradigm shift that's beginning to happen. And it is low and slow, but it's coming. And I think more people, the problem is, in my opinion, is that people hear the word DNA and they, because of everything that's already happened with these other companies, they get a little nervous about it. They don't understand that we're not looking at all these disease-based things. We are looking at your most important nutritional pathways and how it's affecting how you feel, how it's affecting your genetic predispositions and your overall health and wellness. And I think once that message gets out, it's going to change things a little bit. It's not about cardiovascular disease. It is, but it doesn't come out as, okay, are you going to have a heart attack or not? Are you going to suffer from Alzheimer's or not? Are you going to have type 2 diabetes or not? No, we can understand that with these variants, but what we're trying to do is look at those nutritional pathways and these biochemical pathways to say, here's how your body's going to respond to these certain nutrients. And if you don't give it the right form and the right amount, you're just, I say it all the time, you've got expensive urine. And that paradigm shift needs to happen, but it needs to happen on the sense of it's a tool, not a weapon, because everybody has a little fear right now with it. And I think once we can get out there and show them this should not be feared. This should be something that we're using to help kind of throw ourselves a rope and pull us out of our genetic predispositions and overcome, some of those things that we thought we were doomed for. This is not doom and gloom. So I think that people are going to get tired of trying to take the same thing or understand what each of these vitamins or minerals think or what they are. They're going to get tired of their, wanting to know more about what do I take that's more natural. I don't want to take these medications anymore. They make me feel terrible. And that's what I hear all the time. Get me off all this stuff, please. They're tired of taking all these medicines. And when we start titrating down off of these things and they're taking vitamins and vitamins only and their numbers are changing and they're feeling great, then they want to tell everybody. So more people are starting to come around. I think that we're at a really good place. We're at a young place with this, but we're also at a good place because there's so many years of data, research, and science that's already been collected on it. So we're just going to continue to build upon that. But having you guys, like I say, you're just an extension of me. You're able to tell people, hey, there's something better out there. You don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to think, am I taking the right form and the right amount? And is this really going to work for me? Now we can just completely be precise and pinpoint what you need and that right amount. So I know I go into tantrums, but
You're perfect. You're perfect. It's funny. I was at my doctor Thursday, I think it was, and I'm going in for blood work Tuesday. And this was the first time I've brought Uforia up to him. I brought my results and my, supplements and the jar and everything. And he listened, but I could tell he was very cautious, and I told him I was super excited to see my blood work. And because 6 months ago it was done, and I've been on Uforia at least that long. And I said, but how can you tell? Because I'm still on the medications, like a Synthroid for thyroid and stuff. And he said they can tell. Even if you are on the medications, there's still, I don't know what he called it, and I wouldn't even begin to try to guess, but that he can look at different things and know whether or not nutrition is doing something for that. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. Look at those, vitamin and nutrients, and then those thyroid antibodies. Make sure that they're checking for those too, because they can see that thyroid antibody where the immune system starts to go, oh, I don't need to attack this vital organ anymore. Mm-hmm. So things like that change. It's amazing to see it. So good. I can't wait to hear what yours come back as.
Me either. And I have 2 more questions. One is, I wasn't going to go here, but I'm going to for Carmen because she just put it in the chat. So we do know that there's buzz about an eventual skincare line. And Dane is also excited to hear this, as you can see. Can you just confirm a yay or nay that eventually is something that Uforia will be looking at?
I can say that Uforia is going to be looking at skincare. Yes. Uforia is going to be looking at eyesight. Yes. Uforia is going to be looking at hearing. Yes. Uforia is going to be looking at child development. Yes. Uforia is going to be looking at a lot of stuff. In fact, we're already looking.
Mhm.
It's just the process. We have to make sure all of our ducks are in a row.
Sure.
Puppy dog. All of our ducks in a row. Animals, exactly, Dane. That was a good point. Are we looking at animal stuff? Absolutely, we are. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys, and we'll never be perfect, but we'll always be striving forward, and we'll always be making sure that we're innovating and changing as science and research becomes available to us. Absolutely.
You're awesome. And one more, because I've kept you a little longer than I told you. The very last question is, and I really, I just respect your opinion on this. Being where we are right now, those of us, there's 44 or 45 of us on this call that have, a lot of them have been with Uforia since January.
Mm-hmm.
What, in your opinion, how big is this opportunity for the people that are here now?
Huge.
How huge?
Huge. How huge? I think bigger than even I can think, to be honest with you. I got goosebumps when I just said that. I honestly think it's bigger than we all are aware of, or we all can even imagine, to be honest with you, because we're not going to stop. We're not just going to say, okay, we've got this 18 panel, we've got the formula, we're done. Right. No, we're not. We want to change how the world feels about themselves, how they feel about supplementations that they're taking, and how they feel about their wellness, their healthcare. So we're not going to stop it until ever, I think.
Chills too. And what's really cool is that when you want to make a big impact and actually change the world, it starts with a movement.
Yes.
And that's what's going on. And it takes time, right? It's like a little tiny snowflake right now, but it's going to turn into, like a snowball, and then a snowman, and then, an avalanche. And so I'm super excited. We all know it's going to take time. By hearing that, I just encourage everybody to not put a time frame on it. It's going to happen, and who cares how long, because you're using a great product. We're so thankful to have you here. Are any last words, anything else that you'd like to say?
Based on that, if I were to quit back when everybody told me I was crazy because I can't change genes, all my colleagues, everybody I know telling me, why are you reading genetics? You can't change these SNPs. You can change it. That you're crazy. If I would have quit back then, I think that I would have never found my cause. I would have never found what I'm supposed to be here for. And I just fought through it. And I knew there was something to this. So yeah, don't throw in the towel by any means, if ever, because everything is a roller coaster, and we have our ups and our downs, but we are behind the scenes constantly working and trying to make this product and the future products that we're going to bring out from this bigger and better than ever. So, and you're at the forefront. You leave here and some other company says they're doing it. There's no way they can catch up for a really long time. It's going to take them a long time. So I didn't hang in my towel. I still have a lot to learn, and I'm still going to keep learning. So stay with me, learn with me. Preach this with me.
So grateful for you. Thank you so much. And we know we took up some time on your Sunday.
Oh, it's okay.
I can't wait to see you next. I don't know when it'll be, but hopefully January, February, March, somewhere in there.
John and I have spoke about something, so we'll have to talk to you a little more and see if we can get your team together. Absolutely. I'll be in Kentucky next week, but I don't know if any of you are going to that.
The 21st, I know I was trying. I have a huge wedding I'm doing on the 20th. I can't get out from under it. And
That's okay.
I do know about it, so we're super excited. Thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. We appreciate every face on this call. Jen, I think I speak for everybody when we say we love you. So,
thank you, guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.